now. Welcome to live chat. It says you're live. All right. So. Oh, hey. Okay. We may use this. Some of you that have been complaining about sound, you can see if this actually. Oh, sorry. Helping us. Thank you. Helping us with the sound. Can see if the microphone helps whenever I turn the sound around here a second. So tonight we have arrived in Los Jareyas. I'm not sure if that's the right way to say it, of course, because my Spanish pronunciation is terrible. But we have walked from Villafranca to Los Jareyas. That means we're at the base of Sombrero. We'll go up Sombrero tomorrow. So here, I'll turn around so they can see too. So that mountain over there is actually not it. But if you go through that mountain, through that mountain, and then on the other side, you'll be able to see the Sombrero mountain.
Oh, love.
So, yeah.
So 2 mountains.
Yeah, we'll go through one mountain and then over the next one, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. You actually go through the valley and then over the mountain. So tomorrow we're walking up to Fría. For this group, tomorrow is for sure the most difficult day that we'll do on Camino Francés. We'll walk up to Sombrero, and then we'll walk from Sombrero over to Fría. Fría is one of my favorite albergues. We may go live tomorrow from Fría just because the albergue is so stinking cool.
Wow,
yeah, it's a cool albergue.
I like last night's albergue. Oh,
last night we were in Villafranca in the Albergue La Piedra. You guys were not Piedra. They were in Albergue. Last night was the first night we had been split into 2 different albergues. They were in Leo and we were in La Piedra. Both great albergues in Villafranca. But Villafranca is just an awesome town all the way around. So, but tonight we decided that it was a great time to talk about how Camino, first of all, about homesickness on Camino, because now that we've been in about 8 or 9 days, I think 8 days, 8 days, we can talk a little bit about how we're doing with just being away from home, especially for these young adults who, for some of them, it's the first time that they've been away from home. So we're going to talk about that, but we also want to talk about some of the routines that we have to keep up to be able to do Camino, because there is a bit of a pattern, a rhythm that forms as you go on Camino. So we're going to talk about that a little bit as well. So yeah, some of these folks I don't think y'all have met yet. How many of you have not been on one of the lives yet? Oh, okay, all right. Okay, so we got several of us who you've not met yet, so that'll be kind of fun. All right, I'm going to turn this camera around, and then we're going to put on this microphone and see if that improves our sound. Oh, that's Emma and... Can I see it?
Can you see if there's viewers?
Yeah, we've got 6 people watching right now live.
Hi, 6 people.
Yeah, you guys can comment. So this is Mallory. Hi, Mallory.
Hi.
So Mallory, if you'll remember from our introduction video, said she was going to be the fan favorite. They can't hear anything that I'm saying right now, probably, because the microphone's the other way. So, Mal, tell us about your pilgrimage. How's this been so far?
So far, it has been really fun. I've gotten to meet like a lot of cool people, and just like gotten to know like the people I'm with like more and on a deeper level, and just got to like have time to grow in my faith independently, but then also like in the guided prayers that we do at night. It's also been like really fun to just like see how everybody worships and like prays differently, and it's really neat. And the views are incredible. The albergues are, most of the time, they're really cool. Some of them are a little like but yeah, it's been fun, and the food's good. I am a sucker for the orange juice, Zumo de Naranja. I have at least like 3 to 4 glasses a day.
2 per meal.
2 per meal. And so that's been keeping me going, but yeah.
So you're one of the ones, Mal, who's talked about homesickness. Tell us about why you feel homesick, even though you seem to be having a great time.
Yeah, so I've like had a really fun time, but then like during the down times, which like Larissa and like the others will like talk about in a minute, like when we get to the hostel, we have a couple hours of like downtime, and it's just like it can be lonely at points, like if you're not around people. And I just have been like missing my family, my mom and my dad, and then like my boyfriend and his family. And so if you're watching, hey, miss you guys. kisses, mwah, mwah, mwah. But it's just been like hard, and I finally called my boyfriend for the first time like this entire trip like 2 days ago, which is like a long time of not speaking to him on the phone. And so it was kind of like hard, and I cried, and Jeremiah hugged me because at first I got like scared because it said like call failed, and I was like, oh my gosh. But then it finally like it picked up, and I was able to talk with him. But then I cried when we hung up, and that's when I hugged Jeremiah. But it's definitely been like hard to be away from like the people that I spend a lot of time with, just because of like it's a new environment and I want to be experiencing it with them. But then also like I just don't get to talk to them as much because we're busy. But then during that downtime, it's like maybe like morning where they are, or they're like in school, or they're like at work, so I can't talk to them until like it's midnight here and I'm ready for bed. And so that's been hard.
Yeah. How about you, Alicia? How's your pilgrimage going?
Fantastic.
You have to speak up.
Okay. Honestly, like, it's surpassed my expectations, I would say. I was kind of nervous about, like, homesickness and stuff like that, and, like, I don't know. Like, since I've been here, like, I've just become so much more, like, excited about it, and, I kind of thought that, like, while we were hiking, it would be, like, kind of having to look for the beauty and, like, reminding myself that, like, that's why we're doing it, but, like, you can't miss it, and, like, that's what makes it worth it, I feel like. And the views have just, like, I thought we'd come across, like, oh, a great view every once in a while, but most of the time while you're hiking, it's, like, you just can't look away from what's around you because it's just so beautiful. And getting to know all the different people, I kind of thought that maybe I would just, like, stick with the few people that I was close with before coming on the trip. But walking as much as we do kind of gives you the opportunity to get to know, like, even the people that you've not really had the chance to talk to before, so I really liked that.
Yeah. So you made some new friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Karen Rulong says
Aww.
and Michael says, I missed his. It says something, I think he was just sending y'all a blessing. So, hi, Kaylee.
Hi.
How's your pilgrimage going, Kaylee?
It's been delightful. Like Alicia was saying, like, all of the views have really been making up for, like, all the walking that we've been doing. But even then, like, the walking isn't too bad. Especially if you're in the right company or if you're having a good conversation. This morning we did like word riddles, and then
Green glass mirror.
yeah, and then we talked about our favorite worship songs and kind of like bonded over those things, which is just like every day we have different conversations that make like each day new, as well as walking through different places, which has just been wonderful.
How about you, Larissa? Tell us about...
Do you want to flip it?
No, what do you mean flip
easier?
it? No.
I feel like
got
I'm
it.
like
I got
right
you.
at you.
I got you. You're fine.
Okay.
So tell us about your pilgrimage, Larissa. How's it been going so far?
It's been going good. I feel like I would completely agree with Alicia that it's easy to just like appreciate the view. And even if you are walking like in silence, I feel like there's so much like loudness just in the view. I don't even know if that makes sense, but yeah, the views have been incredible. The conversations have been so in depth, and just like walking with new people, I feel like has really opened my mind to the people that are on this trip, and kind of gotten to know like people that I thought I knew on like a different level, which is kind of fun. And then just like growing in the relationships that I already had in coming on the trip.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So what have been, you had mentioned some of the routines. What are some of the things that, what does it mean to make a successful pilgrimage? Like, what are the things you have to do every day to make this work?
So I would say, well, even like with looking for information about the Camino, I'm an over-preparer, so I wanted to be like prepared for like what I was going to like
So you
encounter.
watched a lot of Camino Guide YouTube?
I did. And I found that something that I didn't feel like was talked about a lot was the like stretching routine. And so before you begin a hike, I feel like stretching is so important. And like I wish I did that more because I like hold something going on in my right knee, but that's besides the point. It's just, I think that stretching should become like a part of the routine, just like in the morning and once you finish your hike, like before a shower, like once you get to the albergue. And practicing your Spanish before you come. I feel like I thought I knew a lot more than I did. And like I have like the Spanish dictionary app on my phone, and I would just like do some vocab words. But like study the things that you think you know, because I didn't know them, and I feel like even common stuff, just like on how to order or how to pay, or like in an airport, or things that like you're going to encounter, I feel like that'd be very helpful as well as like in preparation for all the over preparers out there. But yeah, those would be my two main things to think about before heading on to the pilgrimage.
Awesome. Thanks, Elizabeth. Over here, how about you want to chat, Elizabeth?
Sure.
How has your pilgrimage been going so far?
It's been going really well. It's so interesting to see everything along the journey, both from like a landscape perspective, a view perspective, and like a cultural perspective too. It's interesting the people you meet, the people who live here, the people who are also pilgrims. So yeah.
Have you experienced any of the homesickness that some of the others have talked about?
A little bit, yeah, for sure. I think like Mallory said, that time difference is kind of weird. Like I'll be texting somebody and then they won't respond for a bit, and it's like midnight here, so I'm like, oh, I have to go to bed, and then I'll text them back at like 6 a.m. here, which is like midnight their time. So that's always interesting. But there honestly has been a lot more like service and connection here than I thought there would be. So it is a lot easier.
You mean the Wi-Fi? There's been more Wi-Fi connection than you imagine. Yeah. Very cool. Yeah. You want to jump in here, Joseph?
Sure, I'd love to, Jeremiah.
You definitely have some fresh air.
I did just get out of the shower.
How's your pilgrimage going? You have to speak up.
I shall speak up.
Talk loud.
How my pilgrimage is going.
It's fine.
Overall, at the quarter waypoint, I don't know how far we are. I think it's going very well. Coming in, unlike Larissa, I'm a complete underpreparer, so I didn't bring like any toiletries or anything like that.
Did you not have shampoo?
Yeah, I didn't bring shampoo.
How many outfits did you bring?
I brought 2 outfits.
Okay.
Well, okay, that's pretty
And
good.
this, which I've liked this. But more like as we walk, I think I was kind of... Mallory's laughing over here, just loving the views. Okay, so my Camino is going very well. I think my expectation was that Camino meant walking, and that was going to be the hard part. I think with Camino being different for each individual, I've kind of taken my burden as the mental and conversational aspects to be the hard part, or the challenge that I'm trying to overcome. Like Osabrero is tomorrow, and that's supposedly one of the harder days. Mentally, physically, I'm not very worried about that, and I know that others are, but for me and my Camino, it's more relating to myself, relating to others, making new connections with those that are on this trip and those that aren't on this trip. And I think I've been fortunate enough to have some of those connections already, which I'm very blessed to have, and I've formed some very lifelong lasting memories already, and I'm excited for the rest of them. One thing that's challenging for me, just to keep going, is just like, I don't know, I'm a fast walker, and so my challenge is slowing down, smelling the roses, and today I made a special note to walk with, quote unquote, the slow group. The slow group's great. And then the latter half, kind of, once I learned the pace, then to take that pace on my own, and I walked a little bit by myself just to kind of mentally reflect in the silence, and practice that slow pace, which was a little painful, but overall I think it's been a very, very valuable experience, and I'm excited for the rest.
Awesome. All right, I'm going to come back to you, Joseph, because I got to tell them. All right, so I hope y'all are still there. So, remember there? Oh, so I have to tell y'all that Joseph didn't prepare in some ways. Like there were basics that Joseph didn't bring, but there are other things, like he brought lots of Ziploc bags for others.
I brought a hammock.
A hammock. He brought a hammock.
Oh,
A lacrosse ball.
Hair cutting scissors.
hair cutting
shampoo.
scissors to do haircuts.
We should go live tomorrow because after El Sombrero, he's gonna cut my hair.
Okay, so, live haircuts. I don't know about that, but Joseph brought supplies to be able to serve others, and including Joseph brought supplies to make rosaries, right?
I did, yes.
Yeah. So how many rosaries have you actually been able to make?
So I've made probably 9 or 10 rosaries, and Kaylee over there.
Yeah.
You can hand to her.
I've made about 4 rosaries because Joseph taught me how.
Yeah. And she even bought her own string to make more.
Yeah. So what are you doing with these rosaries? Are you giving them to somebody or?
To ruin the surprise, yes, I will be
Oh.
giving them to people.
Oh, sorry. All right. Okay. I didn't mean to ruin the surprise. All right.
But yes,
So yeah.
just like praying for them and about them and thinking about them as making them. Keeping my hands busy as walking is another reason. And then yes, to give to people.
Yeah. So Joseph, as well as a few of our other students, some of our students are very faithful Protestants and evangelical types. A few of our students, including Joseph and Kaylee, are very faithful. Elizabeth as well are very faithful Roman Catholics, and we certainly have some who are not particularly religious themselves, but kind of a lot of different stories there. So how about you, Kyler? How's your pilgrimage going? I want to put it close to him.
Yeah. It's going pretty good so far.
Were you on?
Hey, wait a minute.
Speedy.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm intentionally going fast. It's just the pace that Elizabeth and I are walking. And Jeremiah and Jeslyn walked with us today too. That was really nice. It was good to, not to be rude or anything. I like walking with you, but it's good to have more people than just the two of us
in
for
our
walking.
crew.
Yeah.
So that was nice. I got to learn more about both you and Jeslyn. So
Hydration is important.
So, Kyler has some of the best questions. How do you come up with your questions for people, Kyler? Camino questions.
I don't know. I just
think of them?
think of them on the spot, I guess.
Yeah, give an example of some of the Camino questions that you would ask people.
I don't know. It would start a conversation and then I ask questions from there. That's basically about it.
Yeah.
Like asking about siblings and then what siblings do, and then sports,
Yeah.
sibling sports. What's your favorite sport? I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
What's your
Just
sibling's
pets, just anything in general that you can talk about. So
If we
So-
want to talk about animals, we can talk about me.
yeah.
So, well, AJ, you got to connect with the pups over at our last albergue, right?
I stop and I pet every single animal that I can find on the road.
Did you see the geese today?
That's why I walk so slow. I stop and I pet every cat in the alley. And it's fun. I have more pictures of animals than I do the landscape.
Yeah.
It's okay.
And I love them.
AJ, I have to ask, because I don't know this is true, but some of the others have been talking about homesickness. Have you been struggling with homesickness? Tell us about that.
I've been missing my parents a little. Like other people have said, the time difference definitely is starting to get to me. Like the moment I can have a conversation with my parents is when I'm going to bed and they're having dinner. But it's not too bad. It's actually giving me kind of because they'll text me they wake up pretty early, so they'll talk to me, and they'll send me pictures of my dogs, and my sisters text me. And it kind of gives me motivation to keep walking because once we're done, I get to go home and I get to see my parents again. I get to sleep in my own bed, and I do miss them, but it's not terrible. This is the longest I've ever been away from them, but it's not I don't feel sick to my stomach being I miss them so much. I do miss them, but it's not they'll talk to me, we have good times, and so I don't feel completely alone without them.
Awesome. How's your pilgrimage going, Emma?
It is going pretty well, I would say. I have enjoyed since all we really are doing is walking. Well, walking is not an easy feat. That's all we have to do. So it does provide for a lot of opportunity for new connections and new friendships. So I've really liked that aspect, getting to know people. I've really gotten to know Leah very well. We've been kind of walking buddies this whole time, which has been very nice. And I've just enjoyed my time and the scenery and getting to know people, and yeah, it's been great.
Yeah. Emma and Leah are like our two most highly optimistic on the entire way, and they're AJ's like the optimism might be too much for some of us, but Emma and Leah have been hooked up, and they are our eternal optimists. So super fun.
So is Anna.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
It's terrible.
How about you, Anna? How's the pilgrimage going?
It's been going really good so far. One of the things I've been like surprised about the most is just how quickly, like, I feel like I've adjusted. I don't know about others, but how quickly I feel like I've adjusted to like this simple lifestyle of just getting up every day and walking, and then, you know, by pretty early in the afternoon just having the rest of the day to just relax and journal and things like that. And I just think it's been really refreshing to not have to like worry about what's gonna happen the next day or the day after that, and not really having any like commitments, I guess, other than walking. Just very kind of almost relieving, especially after just finishing up college. So.
Yeah. It's good to get a break to walk
Absolutely.
back. So a lot of our students, I don't know if I'm going to be able to see, can we see that? A lot of the students on this trip are in our honors college. These are like super high achieving students, many of them, and the stress of school, to be able to take a break from all of that, to be able to come here has been super good. So tomorrow we will be walking up to Sombrero and then to Fonfria. Many of us are excited, some of us are a little scared. By the way, we are at Casa Lixa in Jerez. If you have any desire to be able to climb Sombrero in the morning, like you're not going to walk it at the end of the day, Casa Lixa is a beautiful albergue here at the base of Sombrero. Great food, great host, great clean place to stay, and Jerez is kind of a cool little village. This is the town where you pick up the horses, so if you are somebody who wants to ride the horses up to Sombrero, this is where the horses live. So anyway, thanks for watching. Don't hesitate to ask any questions on the chat, and I'll try to respond to those overnight, and we will see you very soon. Buen Camino, pilgrims.
Subscribe.
Yeah, that's right.
Smash that subscribe. Link in the bio.
All right. So apparently, all of them watch YouTubers more than I do. So somebody tell them
Go,
to
AJ,
comment.
go! Hit that subscribe button, hit the like, punch that notification bell in the face, merch in the description below. We'll see you next time.
Buen Camino.
Buen Camino.